everybody, my name is Megan McCrone and I did my project with AP and we did our project on the blue Morpho butterfly. So I'm going to talk about the anatomy of the butterfly. A little bit of fun facts about the butterfly's anatomy is that their wingspan averages about 12 centimeters long. And usually the butterflies fall into the larger category of other butterflies. They're considered to be larger compared to the other butterflies. So a little bit more about their wings is that they have these large, ocelli that would be called eye spots. This is to confuse the predator and also confuse prey. So, when they open their wings up really big, it kind of gives a creepy eye look, kind of like eyes when you look at the butterfly's wings. So the butterfly has a body of 3 segments. It has the head, the thorax, and it has the abdomen. So we're going to talk a little bit about the head. So with the head, they have 2 clubbed antennas, and what these antennas do is that they help examine their environment around them to be able to know what they can eat, if there are predators, maybe if there are any prey that they can catch. So the butterflies have 6 legs on their body, and with those 6 legs they have what are chemoreceptors, and those chemoreceptors actually are what enables the butterflies to sense and taste the juices, or to be able to sense things in the air such as predators, maybe even prey. The blue Morpho actually falls under a category called the subclade Achilles, and what that means is that they have wings that are more suitable for gliding instead of like flapping or such as on. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the life cycle of the butterfly. So their life cycle actually has 4 main stages, and what they do is they go through metamorphosis just like most insects. So they have a typical blue Morpho butterfly goes from about 115 days of complete egg to death lifespan. But the butterfly itself goes from 15 to 20 days of lifespan. So to talk a little bit about the life cycle, they start out, of course, as the egg. Then they go from the egg to the larva, which is the caterpillar stage. Then once they transition from the caterpillar, they go into what's called the pupa or the chrysalis. And what a chrysalis is basically it's a silk that they wrap themselves in to be able to protect themselves and be able to morph into what's called the amigo, which is the adult butterfly. So what happens is the eggs hatch from what's known as the larvae, and after a while they develop in what's called the pupa, and then after that they go into the mature butterfly. So the butterfly usually hatches under a leaf. So the eggs are usually laid underside a leaf, so that way when the caterpillars emerge from the egg, they're actually able to go ahead and eat right away outside of the egg. Another interesting fact is it actually takes about 7 to 16 days for the Morpho to develop from an egg into a larva. So the habitat of the blue butterfly, the butterfly can live anywhere from fields, forests, rivers, and oceans. These places can range anywhere from sea level to 1,800 meters in elevation. The blue Morpho lives far as north as Mexico and south as Venezuela, Colombia, and Ecuador. The Morpho butterfly goes, so what the blue Morpho butterfly does is it goes down into the rainforest, and what it does there is that's when it starts to find its food. And we're going to talk about that here in just a minute. So the diet of the blue Morpho butterfly consists of mainly juices, mainly liquids, but the caterpillar, for instance, they actually eat leaves of various plants. Their favorite plant leaf are typically the pea plant leaves. So this is where the butterfly dives into the forest comes into. They dive into the ground because they're able to eat fruit juices, decomposing animals, fungi, and wet mud. And how they do this is they have a long proboscis, which is like a coil for them to drink through, like a straw for humans. So they actually, when they transition from a caterpillar to a butterfly, they actually start to lose their functional mandibles, and that's why they have to use the proboscis. And the way they're actually able to do this is the sensors on their legs and their antenna. So this is actually how they find food. So what they do is the blue Morpho will land on a substance such as fruit or a tree sap or fungi or mud, and they use their antenna and their legs on their sensors to be able to maybe get a taste and a feel for what they landed on. So for example, how they would taste fruit, they would use the sensors on their legs and their antenna, and this would typically be considered a taste smell sensory that they would use. And you could actually think of it as like a combined tongue or nose, and they use that to be able to find their food and to be able to eat their food. The caterpillars, however, they don't use the sensors on their legs, or they don't have antennas. They just eat pea plant leaves, and that's actually their favorite of all time leaves. So that was my presentation on the blue Morpho butterfly. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.
And some defense mechanisms that these animals use. When threatened, both males and females are able to release a strong odor from between their legs, and that also is referred to as pheromones. And as caterpillars, they ingest poisonous substances, and this is thought to make them poisonous adults throughout their life. Now, some predators and threats to these beautiful animals. Obviously, living in the rainforest, they face many predators, and this is gonna be lizards, frogs, and many different types of birds. And although not directly endangered, these butterflies have become greatly threatened by deforestation and habitat fragmentation. And least but not last, humans are also a huge threat to these because we love them. They're so pretty. Their beauty also makes them a target for those wanting to capture them for their artistic or collection purposes, and even maybe to make jewelry out of their wings sometimes. So we just need to prevent that because these animals are so very pretty. I can't wait to watch all of y'all's videos, and I miss you all so much, and I hope you've had a great month. See you soon.